When you know your past, you are more passionate about defending those rights in the present for all people equally. Why 64? Why does it matter? Dr. King called what was happening in St. Augustine the magnificent drama. Is the nation going to do what's right for its most marginalized group of people at the time and holding the Civil Rights Act to apply to the rights of all American citizens? There was an attempt by SCLC to keep public attention focused on the problem of racial violence in a place like St. Augustine because it was a microcosm for what the Civil Rights Act was trying to overcome. There were nonviolent workshops that were offered. Marches took place at night, which were more dangerous. A lot of working people wanted to participate in the movement, and they couldn't during the day because they had jobs. Those who weren't fired for their participation in the movement. But the people were so starved for change. When the demonstrators walked from the churches of Lincolnville to the downtown area, they literally had to walk by the sheriff's department and heard the police canine units barking in their cells. The fact that they had to make sure that men were walking on the outside 2 by 2 to protect the women and children who were on the inside. The fact that there were marshals who were looking up at the buildings in St. Augustine to make sure there were no snipers placed. The fact that as they turned their corner into the plaza, they saw hooded Klansmen. A very nasty form of white supremacy. They heard people like Connie Lynch or J.B. Stoner, these white nationalists who came to St. Augustine specifically to help the quote-unquote good and battled white folks of St. Augustine. They basically said that Martin Luther King was a monster that was sent to destroy the city of St. Augustine by Satan himself. Slave market, a literal reminder of the human trafficking that occurred in our city. That, to them, was a way of life that they wanted to preserve. Well, for the citizens of St. Augustine and for the leaders of SCLC, that was a way of life that they wanted to upend. So they wanted to demonstrate that they were not afraid and that they were not going to cower in the face of potential violence. And they would walk around the public square praying, singing, and chanting, as so many people throughout the American South did during this time. It takes the young people of St. Augustine who put their communities before themselves to change history. They did not know if they would die. They did not know if the Civil Rights Act would pass. They did not know what the outcome of their sacrifices would be, but they persisted and they continued because they believed in the American dream for all citizens equally. June 1964 was vital for the nation's history. It's important for students to understand that it's people like them who changed history because they put our nation's fundamental promises to the most important test of their lifetime.